are just days away from our opportunity to tell the least desirable members of Congress they didn't make the cut. And thanks to some redistricting, the members of Arizona's 1st, which was formerly Arizona's 6th, now have the ability to swipe left on Schweikert and swipe him out of his seat. David Schweikert was born to an unwed teenage mother on March 3rd, 1962 in Los Angeles, California. She put him up for adoption, but he claims that she had considered an abortion prior to choosing adoption. And I'm sure him sharing this story with us has absolutely nothing to do with him trying to justify his hatred for women and believing that they shouldn't be allowed to do what they want with their own bodies. Now, I'm not here to judge or dispute anybody's origin story that I can't verify or debunk, but I do find it interesting that despite being put up for adoption as an infant, he knows what his mom's plans were, and that those plans included abortion, despite the fact that he was born in 1962 and California didn't legalize abortion until 1969. Now, I do know that adopted children rekindle their relationship with their biological parents sometimes, and I do know that making things illegal, like drugs and abortions, doesn't actually stop people from getting drugs and abortions, so that story absolutely could be completely accurate. It's just also very convenient that it happens to coincide with his belief that women shouldn't be allowed to be individuals capable of making their own healthcare seguros. Anyway, he graduated correct me in the comments, high school in 1980. He then went on to get a bachelor's in finance and real estate and then a master's from the University of Arizona. After receiving his master's, he ran for and won a seat in the Arizona State House of Representatives, where he served until 1995. After his time in the Arizona State House, he was appointed chair to the State Board of Equalization, whatever the fuck that is. Something to do with taxes and evaluations, I think. I don't know. I didn't care enough to look it up. Then in 2004, he was appointed Chief Deputy Treasurer of Maricopa County, where he served until 2007. In 2008, he decided to run for Congress. Again, he tried running before in like 95 and he lost his primary. This time he won his primary for Arizona 6, but lost the general election. However, being the definition of if at first you don't succeed, try again, third time was the charm when he ran in 2010 and won the seat. Since being in office, he got caught by the Ethics Committee misusing funds and was subjected to a $50,000 fine. Like every true douchebag in Congress, he joined the Freedom Caucus for a while. And then, if there's just a douchey way to vote, that's the way that Schweikie's voted. As stated before, he hates women and was fully in favor of overturning Roe and is in favor of his state's 15-week abortion ban. And that, along with how much he hates the LGBTQ community, voting yes on multiple bills to oppress trans people and LGBTQ students, voting in favor of allowing gender-based discrimination. Basically, he's voted against the LGBTQ community in literally every single bill he's had the opportunity to vote on. Oh, and on top of all that, I guess he's also a big fan of abusing women, which is the only reason I can think he would have voted against the Violence Against Women reauthorization of 2013. And on top of that, I'm sure it comes as absolutely no surprise that he's not a big fan of brown people and really hates immigrants, voting against immigrants every single chance he's gotten. And because of all of those reasons and many, many more, he's got a rating of 0 from the Human Rights Campaign, which is truly impressive because it's a score out of 100. All you'd have to do to not get a score of 0 is just one time when you're looking at a bill, ask yourself, what would Adolf do? And then do the opposite. That would at least get you a couple points. But don't worry, ladies, it's not just you and your access to healthcare he hates. He hates people having access to healthcare if, they're poor or any race or religion, really, which is why he's tried to repeal the ACA his entire career. He's also a huge critic of all regulations on Wall Street because, it's just not fair that the big banks can't fuck you over in the same way that they could before 2008. After all, it's rich people's God-given rights to exploit the working class and tank the global economy so they can line their pockets just a little bit more. That's definitely probably in the Magna Carta. He also voted against an entire federal budget in 2011 simply because he hates art, culture, poor people's ability to travel, and the environment. No joke, he voted against an entire federal budget simply because it included some expanded funding for the Smithsonian and some provisions for high-speed rail. How much of a douche do you have to be to vote against the Smithsonian and trains? Come on, everybody loves planes and trains and dinosaurs and shit. How the fuck you vote against that? He even tried reversing a Department of Labor rule that required retirement and pension advisors to prioritize their clients' interests over their own. He even hates grandma and grandpa, which is probably why he's put out proposals to cut Social Security and Medicare as well. He also hates our service members and veterans, voting against the PACT Act, which was the biggest expansion of veterans benefits and services ever. Seriously, his douchebaggery cannot be overstated. But good news, everyone! Arizona's newly redistricted 1st District has the opportunity to clean up this little mess here. The election is currently rated as a toss-up, and he is probably the most vulnerable he has ever been. Now, he says he's confident that voters worried about the economy will ensure his victory, which I don't really understand because he has sucked on the economy like the whole time. Hell, as recently as 2017, he voted for the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which added more to our national debt than any economic policy in history. Now, residents of Arizona's 1st, you can vote for somebody who openly and actively hates you, again and continue in this abusive relationship. Or you can vote for Amish Shah. I'm sure I'm butchering that, and I probably am, but he's a physician. He has an impressive resume developing new emergency medical techniques. He's been a chief medical officer. He's currently an emergency physician and has served in the Arizona State House. See, he has spent his life serving and helping people. He loves you and wants you to be happy. Schweikert expects you to work to death before dying sick, broke, and alone in the streets because he hates you and doesn't want you to be happy and healthy. The choice seems like it should be obvious, but y'all have had Schweikert around since 2010, so I'm not making any assumptions. All I'm saying is it seems like you guys have an excellent choice that seems like a no-brainer, and a choice that if you make it, seems like you have no brain. In fact, the fact that this is a toss-up is a bit disheartening, but I'm holding out faith that you guys are going to come through and swipe Schweikert from his seat. And for all of y'all and everybody else, remember that Election Day is Tuesday, November 5th. In most places, early and absentee voting is already open, so make sure you check your registration, make sure you can vote, and do vote. I already have, and I'm hoping you do too, because all of us are counting on all of us.